this is James with the 1HourSmartHome.com, and today we are going to be talking about the best light switches for Apple HomeKit, or the best HomeKit compatible light switches, however you want to say it. Alright, so we've got a couple options here. Before we get too far, please like, subscribe to this video, and when you're done, please click on the links below if you want to support us. Any of the links below will support us. And you can go to our website for more information. Jeez, I'm yawning. Okay, so what we've got here is the two best light switches, in my opinion, for Apple HomeKit. There are other light switches that are out there that will work with HomeKit. I just don't see a compelling reason at this point why you would use those over these two. And we're going to go into the reasons why here. But basically, the two light switches that I recommend are Leviton. This Leviton light switch right here, we'll have the links to that below. And this Lutron cassette light switch here. Now, these are both dimmer switches. There are non-dimmer versions of both of these light switches, but reality is the cost is pretty much the same for the dimmer and non-dimmer versions, so I don't know why you wouldn't just pick the dimmer version, because the dimmer version of both these switches can operate just like a normal switch. Basically, they work right here. You just on, off, click, and then if you want to adjust dimming, there's this little lever on the side that you would click to adjust dimming up and down. So it works pretty much like a normal on-off switch in most configurations. And the same with this. For this, the dimmer, you just hit off, on, and then adjust the dimming up and down here. So we're going to go through these two light switches and why I like one over the other, but they're both good. And for some of you, the number 2 switch might actually be the option, and the number 1 switch might not work for you. And for those of you, the number 1 switch is going to really depend on what you like, what style you like. Do you like this paddle, or do you like that? And that's perfectly fine. But both of these are very good light switches, two great manufacturers. I recommend them both, but because people like to have a ranking, what's better, what's my opinion, I did choose one over the other. So, alright. The Leviton light switches, which are right here, this is the Leviton light switch. Why I like these is because they don't require a hub, okay? They are completely wireless, work on your normal Wi-Fi network, so they just connect to your Wi-Fi router. You don't have to install a hub. With the Lutron cassette light switches, you do have to install a hub. Here's the hub right here. It's teeny tiny, so you can seal it pretty much anywhere, but you gotta plug this in next to your router and install that. And you can run up to 50 light switches on one Lutron hub. If you want more light switches than that, you just get 2 of these and you can go up to 100. So I like it because it doesn't require a hub. I don't like having another point of failure, and these eliminate that extra point of failure because they just connect right to your Wi-Fi network. So that's why I like them. The main reason I chose these ones over the other ones. However, both of them work with HomeKit. Both are great light switches. The other thing, though, that is a difference that might make a difference between you, what you choose is, and how your home is set up, is that these ones do require a neutral wire. If you don't know what that is, there's plenty of videos out there, just what's a neutral wire. We've got some videos on neutral wires, and you can just look at those. We'll include a link below in this description. But these do require a neutral wire, which in homes built after 1980, for the most part, you will have a neutral wire in the switch box. What's nice about the Lutron cassette system over here is that they do not require a neutral wire. So if you have an older home built before 1980, you may not have a neutral wire in your switch box, which case you really couldn't use these unless you add a neutral wire, which is a real big pain. So you're better off going with this. It's going to save you a lot of time, effort, and money if you don't have a neutral wire, just to go with this here. These are great, reliable systems, and will do you justice. So the no neutral wire system, Lutron cassette does not require that, which is awesome for a lot of people. It brings accessibility to a lot of you that have older homes. You can have smart light switch control with a Lutron cassette system if you don't have a neutral wire. There are some newer homes that just, they went under a renovation, somebody did it and they didn't add a neutral wire in the switch box, in which case you still want to use the Lutron cassette. So that's another difference between these two. All right, now what is the final difference kind of between these two is if you want a three-way configuration for any of your switches. A three-way configuration is like what you would find at a stairs, so one switch turns it off on or off at the bottom of the stairs, and the other switch turns on and off that same light switch at the top of the stairs. Both of these light switches are three-way compatible, but they work a little bit different, okay? So for the Leviton light switches, you have to get a main dimmer switch, and then you get what's called a remote dimmer. And these are hardwired together. We've kind of got a diagram here on how it would wire together in a one-line diagram. Basically, these are connected by electrical wiring, okay, for the three-way switch. Simple to install. There's instructions in the box. You just follow those. Install the Wi-Fi light switch, smart light switch. But for the Lutron light switch, this may offer an advantage to some of you, is that this three-way system works by you wiring in this to one side of the light switch. And then on the other side, you just use this remote. And this remote has a variety of attachments that you can use on the wall to make it look built in, just like a normal built-in light switch. You would never know the difference. You have probably clicked on one of these before because they use these a lot in commercial buildings for lighting, and you would never know that that other three-way switch was actually a remote because they look built in. They have cover plates. This is the exact same profile as the actual switch face itself. It's battery powered. The batteries last 10 years. So if you had a location like a dining room with two entrances or a living room with two entrances and you wanted to add a three-way switch and there wasn't wiring there before, you could use this very simply without messing around with a whole bunch of wiring and opening up walls, because this is completely wireless, Wi-Fi remote switch. And if you did have a built-in switch there, you could still use it. You would just take the old switch out, wire up this switch however you needed it, that existing wiring, and you just put this right over that wiring with a normal cover plate. There's a little like plastic cover plate adapter that goes on this, so it just screws right into the normal screws that are on the front of any kind of standard Decora wall plate. So that's how this works. So those are the major differences between both of them. Now let's talk about the features of why these are both good HomeKit light switches. Both of them will work with control on your phone. You can turn them on or off with your phone. Both have great apps, really good support. You can set schedules, control it from inside your home, outside your home. They're going to work with HomeKit, which means that you're going to be able to control them with Siri commands. So you can say, Siri, turn off my lights, Siri, turn on my living room lights, and a variety of different functions that you can do with your voice. That's really what you get with a HomeKit controlled light switches. You're able to now control it with Siri with your voice or with an Apple Home Hub. So it'll work with Siri just right on your phone. But what's nice about all these is that they will both work with Alexa and Google Home. So if you kind of want to mix and match smart voice assistants, these two are very versatile and allow you to mix and match with two different types of voice assistants. Siri, they allow you to match it with Alexa as well as match it with Google Home. So come here, buddy. All right, well, it looks like Moose is going to make a surprise visit in this video. That's my dog there, Moose. I don't know, he must have woke up from a nap or something. He wants to be on here. So dog videos get more likes, right, YouTube? So, no, I'm kidding. And he's out. So both of these light switches are great. The software side, like, there's only so many extra features you can add to a smart light switch. And both these manufacturers have all those features already added. There's not like super control that you can have. There's like, what can you do with a light switch? Turn it on and off. You can set a timer. You can set a schedule. What more can you do? You can set scenes, but you can set those on Siri and Alexa and Google Home. So it's like, people worry a little bit too much about the apps, because the apps basically these are two major manufacturers. They have tons of people behind them, tons of support for them, and they're both going to work great on the app. And really, I think what you find when you start living in a house with smart home control, whether it be Siri, Alexa, or Google Home, is that you are going to use your voice more often than not to turn on and off light switches when you're sitting down, when you're lying in bed, or when you're walking through a room. And then you're still going to just like, if you're walking into a bathroom or something, you're probably just going to turn on a light switch like you normally would because you've done it for so long. But they really do come in handy when you're watching a movie and you want to turn off the lights, when you are going to sleep and you want to turn off the lights. That's probably my favorite, is laying in bed, you get all ready, lay down, and you don't have to get out of bed, you turn off the lights, and you don't have to worry about tripping over anything. Like an 8-pound chihuahua that might be walking around. So that's a great addition to any home. So both these will work with HomeKit. These are the two best HomeKit light switches that I recommend. These are both dimmers, so that's something to know. If you don't have a neutral wire, you're going to want to go with the Lutron. If you have a neutral wire, you can use either of these. My personal preference is the Leviton switch because you don't have to use the hub. But for some people that won't make a difference. Some people just like the design of these. So, you know, this is a little bit more simpler. It's got on, off here, and then you adjust up and down for the lighting and dimming. Here you've got on and or off and on, and you've got dimming control right here. So it really just comes down to personal preference, but both these are good out of all light switches that work with HomeKit. These are the two that we recommend. Please like and subscribe to this video. We appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.